In this episode, I try to resolve an annoying problem with my carburetor where it would just rev all the way out and will not idle. So in a previous episode where I finally got this little bike running, you might remember that it would just rev all the way out with the slightest twist of the throttle, and try as I might, I could never get it to come back down unless I cut the ignition. A bit of messing around with the carburetor and the carburetor slide, I kind of resolved the issue, but it was always there. The bike was rideable, but every now and then, twist it too much and it would just rev all the way out, and I can't stop it unless I cut that ignition again. So I'm going to pull the carburetor apart, take the slide out, and attempt to resolve this issue in this episode. If I can't fix this, unfortunately we're up for another carburetor. First thing first, let's pull the slide out of the carburetor and see where that leaves us. Alright, I believe I have found the issue. So here is the slide in my little hand, and what I believed was happening was the little adjuster for the slide. As the slide had come down, it was wearing a groove in the slide and locking it in place, or holding it up. But the slide itself actually looks in pretty decent condition. So that's not the problem, that's good news. Or is it? The bad news is I had a look at the needle, and the needle appears to be bent. So I'm going to try and straighten this. I bet you as I straighten it, it probably snaps it in half. Hopefully that will fix the issue if it doesn't break, but knowing my luck, it's probably going to break, and probably going to have to try and source a needle or a carburetor, or both. Alright, update. Needle is about 95-ish% straight. It's not perfect, but it's straight enough that I hope it will get me out of trouble. So what I think was happening is because the needle had such a bend in it, as we were pulling it up the bore of the little bit that the needle slides in the carburetor, it was locking it on and it wasn't allowing it to fall back inside. This was raising the RPMs and they could never go away. So hopefully this solves the issue, at least until I can get another one. So we'll reassemble it all, we'll give it a go and see if that is our problem resolved for now. Carburetor is all back together, the throttle's working well, there's no jamming in the throttle, fingers crossed this is the problem resolved. So we'll pull the bike down off the table, we'll wheel him outside and let's see if we can get it started. So it's riding quite well now. Without the airbox on it, it's actually quite loud. But as you can see, it gets along quite well. Alrighty, so it runs and it runs well. Far better than it's ever run before. But before we go on, time to chuck the airbox on with a brand new air filter. Then let's see how it goes from there. Alright, I'm going to call that one a success. The issue was a bent needle in the carburettor that was causing the throttle to stick and hang wide open. Now the needle's not perfectly straight. However, it is working. So I'm going to have to hunt around and see if I can find a straight needle, or maybe it's time for an upgrade, who knows. But that's the end of this video. Hopefully next video is the bike all done, everything painted, and we can start putting this bad boy back together and get it on the road. But you'll have to wait and see. See you on the next one. Cheers.